Yo, what's up, YouTubers? So, it's gonna be my thoughts. I got a question the other day on Kyle. How do you like your truck? How do you like the Duramax? I think the guy, he said he does like plumbing, heating, all that kind of stuff, and he's gonna pull a 24-foot enclosed trailer. And he's looking at, Duramax, Cummins, Power Stroke, and all the same three brands with gas. He's considering that because his friend has a Duramax, evidently, I think an 11 or a 12. And he said the D-Max gets like 11 miles to the gallon pulling that stuff around, doing that kind of thing. And, he's had some problems with the DEF and the emission system on it. So, here's my thoughts on the whole thing. And this is speaking to like the numbers wars that Ford, GM, and Dodge all have. And I am a GM fan. I probably will always be. I'll share a little bit more of that. You can see some of my other videos to tell you why. But I'll tell you why on here too. The recent numbers that just came out for the 2017 models of the three big names in the diesel in their highest output configuration, GM's is, and I could be slightly off on this, so don't bite my head off, but GM's is 445 horsepower, 910 pounds of torque. I think Ford's is 440 horsepower and 925 foot-pounds of torque. And Dodge is still like 365, or it's in the high 300s horsepower, 375, 385, and 900 foot-pounds of torque. So currently the two top leaders, based on numbers alone, are Ford and GM. Okay, I really think that the new 2017 Fords are the best Ford pickup that has ever been made, just based off of the improvements that they've done to the frame. I think they got a fully boxed frame now, so that's a lot better. The cab is a lot better, quieter. They've just done a ton of suspension chassis modifications that I think was leaving Ford far, far behind in the past, or in the previous models. They haven't done a significant change in their overall chassis since like 2001 or something, so it's way, way overdue. Okay, so we got the big three. I think Ford is the best. I would still buy a GM hands down. Whether I'm going to buy a gas or a diesel would depend on a couple things. So, currently right now I'm pulling the gooseneck with the skid steer, and this load is about 20,000 pounds on the gooseneck. That's roughly. I've got the skid steer, the Harley rake, trying to get reverse, I got neutral. Skid steer, Harley rake, bucket forks, skid steer loaded down. I'm light on fuel, but anyways, I'm probably 20,000 pounds. Trailer and machine included in that, okay? It's a 1-ton single wheel 2013 Duramax. To answer his question, I have not had any problems with the emissions equipment on this truck. I have heard that 2011, 2012 did have some issues, which is to be expected because it was the first year that GM came out with their new and updated emissions equipment on their trucks. I think they got it relatively figured out pretty good in 2013, which is maybe why I didn't have any problems with my truck. But I did end up deleting it for, I don't know, I kind of regret deleting it. I probably wouldn't go delete it again if I started all over. So I think 2014, 2015, 16, GM really figured out the emissions equipment. They were the ones, and all the people I talked to, that didn't really have any challenges or issues that I've heard of with their emissions. I've talked to some guys who own some Dodge Rams with the Cummins, they've had challenges, but my buddy's had a 12 or 13, maybe a 14. I don't know. Anyways, around there, Cummins, he's probably got 80,000 on it now. He loves it. He hadn't had a single problem with it. Uses the shit out of it, pulls like a champ. So, there's that part of it too. Forgot where I was going with this. I had to kind of pull off to the side here. So for you, would I buy a gas or a diesel? I would buy, if I'm going to do any significant pulling, I'm going to buy a diesel. They just pull, they pull so much better. They stop better, they pull better, they handle the weight so much better as far as powertrain goes. And you've got the engine brake, exhaust brake, whatever you want to call it, transmission brake. You've just got a lot better weight control with a diesel. And that is really, really, that's important to me in a lot of areas. The gassers can do it, but here's my experience. I just bought a newer little short box pickup truck, Chevy 5.399. Yesterday I burnt a half a tank of fuel in that thing just driving around. Now it probably has a smaller tank than this truck, but the Duramax here has a 36-gallon tank. Unloaded, had I done the same driving in the Duramax, I would have burned like an eighth of a tank. Gas is cheaper, but you burn less diesel fuel, and it's just a fact. I don't know, it seems like when I'm in these gas trucks, they just suck the fuel. Whether that's unloaded, I don't really pull anything with a gas truck. I feel like if I had all this behind me yesterday, I would have burned a half a tank. I wouldn't even burn, I would burn a quarter tank. If I did all the same miles that I did yesterday, pulling this thing around, I better a quarter tank. Half of the amount of fuel in relation to how much fuel, how much volume is in the tank. So I really think you're going to burn more fuel if you have a gas. My buddy has a truck exactly like this, only it's got the 6-liter in it, and it's a 2500, so it doesn't have the overload springs. This is a 1-ton 3500 single wheel, not a dual. Okay, it's got the same exact truck, same exact year. It's just a different color. Okay, he gets on average like 8 to 10 miles to the gallon doing everything. He won't reset his tripometer or his DIC on the computer. He gets like 8 to 10. He pulls like a lawn trailer. It's a dual axle, like 20-footer. He probably averages like 6,000 to 8,000 pounds pulling that 5 days a week. Okay, 8 to 10 miles to the gallon with that truck. With this thing, if I don't reset the DIC for like a month or 2 months, I don't go on any road trips or do anything, this thing averages anywhere from 14.5 to 15.5 miles to the gallon. That's pulling trailers, that's driving in town, that's about a 10-mile, 55-mile-an-hour commute to get into town. I leave the thing running, like if I'm going to be in a store, if I'm doing anything for under 10 minutes, I leave it running. So it's got a lot of idle time on it, and I average, call it 15 miles to the gallon. I keep the fuel filter clean, or changed, not clean. I change the fuel filter I go by the gallons every 1,500 gallons, and I've got a cat fuel filter, and I filter the fuel before it even goes in the tank. So there's that part of it there. So 2 same trucks, probably in comparison, I'm more maxed out on the capacity that this truck is rated for, where my buddy with the same truck probably could add another 4,000 pounds to it to be closer, if you're really comparing apples to apples and what they could do. But point is, based on the numbers I've run, the numbers I've seen and heard, I would go diesel. You're gonna get better mileage with it versus a gas, hands down. I think that the new diesels are awesome. I would not take the emissions off of them. I wouldn't do it. Just wouldn't do it. I liked having a clean diesel with shitloads of power. You could do whatever. You had to add the DEF fluid, whatever. It's not like a huge deal. I like that you put it up there on the GM, personally, in the engine compartment. It's not this weird, like, thing that you could not that I would, but someone, go put diesel in it. They put diesel in the DEF tank. Anyways, I like having it up there. I think it's in a convenient spot. You don't get any DEF fluid over the side of your truck or anything. As far as the DEF tank goes on the bottom, on the outside where GM's had it for the last 6 years, I think it's a great spot. People always go, oh, that damn DEF tank, you'll go over a rock and rip it off. Like, no you won't. Unless you're a dumbass and you're going to take your $60,000, $70,000 truck and go beat it off-road, which you ought to not do that with diesel. They're too freaking heavy. So I don't think you're going to like that. It's a great design as far as I'm concerned. I have had zero problems with where that DEF tank is at, and I like that you fill it up there. So kudos to GM for that. I would prefer you not put the DEF tank fill nozzle on the side. Now, as far as the ratings go and the numbers, I gotta be honest. So this is a 1 ton. Like I said, I do not want to carry any more weight behind this truck than what I do. Will it do it? Yeah. Will I be able to stop? Probably. Could I put my big excavator on there that just the excavator weighs 20,000 pounds and get an 8,000 pound trailer to pull it, pull 28,000 pounds, call it through? I probably could. I have complete confidence that I could hook that shit up and pull it with this truck. Do I want to? No. I want to make this truck last. If I can get 300, 400,000 miles, 500,000 miles out of this truck, that's the goal. So I don't want to be carrying all that damn weight behind a truck like this. So these number wars, if you look, go on the actual Dodge website and the actual Ford website, these numbers that they claim up to like 30,000 pounds, put a gooseneck on, gross vehicle combined weight ratio, whatever, is like up to 40,000 pounds. One of them, Dodge or Ford, I don't know, they came out with 40,000 pounds. I saw 40 somewhere. But if you look, those numbers are for don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty damn sure, I'm 95% sure. Those numbers are for a 2-wheel drive, regular cab, 3,500 dually, or Ford may have claimed with the number of 4,500 dually, regular cab, 2-wheel drive, long box. Now, why is that, right? They use these numbers for a marketing strategy to get these people to buy because they can pull more. That's not the case. The reason why they use those numbers off of a 2-wheel drive, dually, regular cab, long box is because the weight of the truck is decreased because you don't have the damn cab, the quad cab, and you don't have the weight of the 4-wheel drive, so it increases the overall gross combined vehicle weight rating up to like the highest number. If you had a quad cab to it, if you had 4-wheel drive to it, bells, whistles, leather, all these storage compartments and all this other bullshit, you're going to take the towing capacity down by a couple thousand pounds, if not, 6,000 pounds, 8,000 pounds, whatever. So that's where they get that number from, and it's kind of a sham, I think, because you get these people that talk about the numbers wars between Ford and, so-and-so can pull more than a Chevy. Like, it's kind of bullshit as far as I'm concerned. If you're pulling anything over 20,000 pounds consistently, oh damn, that is sweet. There's a bald eagle and he just took this. That's sweet. Huh. Anyways, good omen. If you're pulling anything over 12,000 pounds, you need like a class 5, class 6 truck. You need like a tandem dually. You need like a beverage truck. You need something that has a bigger chassis, bigger suspension, bigger rear end to consistently pull that amount of weight. You just do. You need the bigger brakes. You need the 19.5-inch rims. You just need that. I know Ford and Dodge make that, but if you really look at what the trucks are, and I think too, I saw some statistics on what the amount, like who buys what and what people want to really pull. And the number is like 90% of people buy a 3/4 or 1 ton pickup, and they expect to average pull like 12 to 15,000 pounds. Like, holy shit. So why are all these numbers, like, it's just a marketing scheme. It's just a marketing plan. And I really like to watch the Fast Lane truck. Check the Fast Lane truck out. They do great reviews, independent reviews on all the brands and everything. And the GM with the Duramax has won for like their Gold Hitch Award, I think, for at least the last last 2, if not 3 years in a row. It may not always, I don't think it's gotten the fastest number pulling up the hill, but where it really wins is coming down the hill. You don't have to use the brake, which is really, really nice to not have to use the brake all the time. The engine braking is good. So I think Duramax, it's one reason why I like Duramax and GM. They just pull great. They hold the load really well. Again, I haven't seen any real world towing reviews, nor have I driven the new Ford. I think it's going to do really well, but I'll still probably always buy a GM. And this is politics and all that shit aside. So if you got shit to say about all that, this isn't about that. Nor do I want to get into that. So there, cut you guys out too. So you got all these numbers, right? This is a really long video, but I hope you guys find value out of it. Just pick the truck that you like the most. I would go with a diesel. If you're going to pull more than 8,000 pounds, 6,000 pounds consistently, go with the diesel. Let a diesel run a diesel. You got to get the damn thing out on the road and run it. You can't. I think it's really impractical if you own a diesel and you only drive it 5-6 miles, a couple miles to work and back every day, or you don't really use it. You gotta let it go through the heat cycles. You gotta let it do its regen. When it does regen, get on the throttle. Put some fuel through the system, put some air through the system to help blow out and create more pressure and more heat in that SCR system, in the emission system, so that it cleans it out better. I always did that with this one. When it was regenning, I'd hammer on the damn thing. You'd watch this kind of gray, poofy smoke come out, which I always thought was kind of funny because they put these emission systems on the diesels to eliminate carbon and soot. Now we got this gray stuff coming out the back. What the hell is that? But anyways, that's my rant. I really am just a fan of GM. I think Dodge makes a good truck too. The Rams, I think the Cummins are a good motor. Front ends, as far as the straight axle goes, it really seems, I had a guy working for me in a different business. He had a 13 or 14 Ram, and he had to have the whole front end redone on it, ball joints, wheel bearings. They all wore out like 110,000 miles. And then he also had to have a new tranny put in, I think at like 90,000 miles. He didn't have the ASIN, I believe, so that could be why. But there was some, anyways. So, all that shit's happening before a truck even hits or at 100,000 miles, especially wheel bearings and steering components. Like, I do not want to change any of that shit. All I want to do for the first 200,000 miles is change the oil, change the transmission fluid, and the fluids in the truck. And so far, I'm at 178,000 on this thing. It's perfect. Drives great. Oh, and put tires on it too. Up for my third set of tires here pretty soon. But that's that. So I hope you guys find this video valuable. I do think, like I said, I'll wrap it up. I think Ford's going to prove to have a pretty good truck. Not so sold on the looks of the front end, but I think overall the side profile of the new Fords look really good. The new GMs, the new Chevys, they just kick ass. They are just a damn sexy, good looking truck. I like the hood scoop. I think it's a cool, functional hood scoop. I think I don't really care what their numbers are. Like, I'm only going to buy a 1-ton single wheel in the future to either add to the fleet for this one. I'll probably always keep this one. So I don't really care. I'm never really going to pull, unless they make significant gains and significant improvements in it. I'm never really going to plan to pull over 20,000 pounds. So single wheel 1-ton will always work for me, because otherwise, pulling heavier shit, I'm going to use a bigger truck no matter what, bigger trailer, and do it the safe, right way. So I don't really think the big numbers matter, but as far as fuel economy goes, pulling, just get a diesel. If you're not going to pull that much, under 4,000 pounds or under 6,000 pounds, then you can probably get a gas, but you're probably still going to spend more in gas. So, I'm ranting on, long video. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Appreciate the comments. You guys rock. I'm just pulling in here to unload this hot rod. Yeah.